is a fairy oracle card reading for the only one. So when I went in to get the code name, obviously I started surrounding us in light. I surrounded the room in light. I've done a few other readings today, so I didn't have to make another circle for this reading. I could have just kept the one that I had, but I felt to create another sphere, and I used my selenite and then my zoanite to assist me with that and send out their energies into the circle. And this is a very grounding stone, the zoazite. Whereas with the selenite, this is a higher energy and this is for clearing. So this is grounding and this is clearing. So they're kind of opposites, which I didn't even realize, didn't think about when I made the sphere. And this also has some nature energy with it as well. Pretty much any green stone has nature energy. Another thing coming through with this is like newness, change, new growth. So this feels like a spiritual, it feels like a spiritual kind of change or growth to me. And that can come through sometimes because I don't know if it would actually come up in the meaning, but that comes through sometimes during a reading with me because of the specks on it. It kind of makes me think of a dinosaur egg. And eggs, a lot of times they'll represent like growth, new birth, a change of some kind, or just something new in some way. So the other two crystals that I have here are my citrine, and so this is like strength, and this is your solar plexus chakra. This is a solar plexus stone, and it's also like a sunstone. It has basically revitalizing energies, powerful energies, strength, endurance, power, this type of thing with this stone. And those were the words I was getting specifically with it: endurance, strength. And then this is my tiger's eye. And this also, it has to do with strength. It can have to do with physical strength, and maintaining your body, keeping it healthy. But it also has to do with inner strength, spiritual wisdom, and perceptiveness also, being able to see like a tiger, obviously, cat's eyes. It can see, it can be very perceptive. So those are my four crystals that I have there. And when I surrounded us in positive energy, first I was using the selenite. And when I surrounded you, I had a little bit of trouble at first with the energy going around you. There was kind of something wanting to block the positive energy, kind of around you, kind of in your auric field, and I kept seeing this thought form over and over. I would say it's a thought form because it almost had like a past life kind of energy with it. And so this felt like something that you had created during a past lifetime, is what I would say just from feeling it for a second. So if I read it a little bit more, it might change slightly when I get more details, but that's what it felt like to me on first glimpse. And this thought form, thought forms tend to take on like an appearance. They can be some just random object if somebody created them and they're just focusing on some addiction, like a cigarette or something. It can literally look like a cigarette. Or it can take on like an appearance of like a person, really anything. It's just an energy. So it can take on anything to sort of describe itself describe what it does or what it dwells on. It's usually a simple programming unless it's something that the person has had a long time and it's developed more. If not, then it's a more simple programming. So it's just dwelling on some simple things and just sending it to you to sort of feed itself energy. So this thought form in particular was taking on the shape of a woman, but she had this sort of grayish white, like a milky kind of white, like gauze in front of her, almost like she was wearing some kind of thin material, like a sheet. Um, it wasn't see-through, but it was very thin and was covering her whole head, and she was wearing just this white, all the way down to her wrists, this white straight gown, or like I said, kind of a gray white. And so it almost made her look kind of ghost-like or something. And then with the code name too, it's coming in the only one. And first, and then all of a sudden, I'm hearing this John Lennon song in my head, but I'm not the only one. Um, and obviously, in this song, you know, you may say that I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. And he's talking about this kind of utopia in a sense that he wants to create, how he sees the world, how he would like for it to be in the song. And so he was sort of a dreamer, like he said. He was a dreamer, he was intellectual, and he's trying to spread some kind of energy. And so when this came in, the only one, there was also a second song all of a sudden that just popped into my head. And these are old songs. They're not songs I would ever think of. I don't listen to John Lennon or any of these old-timey songs. But this one, I don't know if you've heard this one before, but it's that song, One is the loneliest number that you ever knew, or goes something like that. Two can be as sad as one. It's the loneliest number since the number one. It's a really old song. So there was kind of this lonely kind of feeling with it, and I saw you kind of looking at the stars. So there was definitely a star seed energy coming in, and kind of an energy like with the John Lennon thing, kind of an energy of your ideals and ideas, how you think of the world. And there was kind of this energy like you're the only one, like you're not really aware of people, at least physically around you, many of them that you could really deeply connect with. And I know you were asking like when will I find true love or something like in a romantic way, but this wasn't only about that. This feels, especially not when it's coming in like the code name. This is just kind of in general. It's like this kind of feeling like you're the only one, kind of in your vicinity with this sort of perspective. But there was a deeper feeling with this, like even if you weren't dwelling on this all the time now, but obviously I do feel like this energy is also a present energy, but there was definitely a past life energy with this also. And then seeing that thought form, like I said, it felt like something that was created in a past lifetime. And this thought form, it almost felt like a widow to me. Whew. And I definitely just felt a kind of energetic reaction. Okay, I'm going to put up some more protection here, I think. Okay, so I think I'm going to get one other crystal maybe to help with this. So this thought form is not a simple programming anymore. You've had this one for a while. This is definitely what the council calls an identity level thought form. They basically split it into three stages. An identity level thought form is basically you have agreed with it to the point that it is capable of thinking, to the point where it's capable of thinking. It's a being. It can think, but it still needs your energy. And so the council doesn't really classify it as an entity yet because it still needs this outside source of energy in order to survive. Still at this point, um, so this energy. They're really bringing this up. So this is clearly something that needs to be gone over, needs to be looked at in this reading. So you have your other couple of questions here. Oh, right. Now that was the other thing coming up though, that this thought form, this actually blocks you from discovering a deep connection, from discovering true love, like you were saying also. And so this, even in regards to the questions, this is very important. So this is your guide's way of answering the question. Guides tend to have an indirect way sometimes of answering a question where they want to answer it in a way that they feel is most actually going to benefit you, most help you get some kind of solution for something. That song is playing in my head again. That song, one is the loneliest number that you ever knew. Okay. I'm just gonna see if I can find the lyrics to it real quick. I'm sure I can. Okay. So yeah, I'm glad that I looked at the lyrics. I felt to, and this is some type of widow energy that this thought form has. And this is coming from an experience that you had during a lifetime where you created this thing. And the lyrics are saying it's just no good anymore since you went away. Now I spend my time just making rhymes of yesterday. One is the loneliest number, one is the loneliest number, one is the loneliest number that you'll ever do. Okay. Okay, so this is the first card I'm pulling for the reading. This is Gotcha. This is still referring to this lifetime. Gotcha is basically, this card represents having like the rug pulled out from under you. And it can be something good, it can be something very devastating. And either way, it's unexpected. And so this still is having to do with this lifetime. So in this lifetime, I don't. I'm almost getting a feeling that this may have been more than one person that you lost in the lifetime at the same time. For sure, a husband. I'm sure a husband, but there may have been someone else also that was lost. I'm not 100% sure on that yet, but it was very sudden. It was unexpected, and it devastated you in the lifetime. And this is an energy that needs to, well, it needs to be understood so that it can be kind of gone into, so that you can look at it and then you can attempt to clear it. You can start that process of clearing it. Okay, so this is the sage, but and all these cards mean a lot of things, but in this case, it's just basically saying this thing is pretty old. This is a pretty old thought form that you've had for quite a while. And I'm going to pull this one too. This one was on the end. Sometimes I count those. Whoa, there's a lot of light going on. This is Iris of the Rainbows. Iris of the Rainbows, she's normally about something good. She says the storm has passed. Now there's a rainbow. But in this case, it feels like the opposite. It feels like almost like the good times are over. This is what she felt during this lifetime, or what you felt during, excuse me, during this lifetime. When you created this thing, that was what it was created out of. Okay, this is the feline. This card is about, well, basically he's accusing. He has an accusing energy. That's why he's looking this way in the card. He's looking out in this accusing way, to basically say what you did wrong. And I get a couple of things from that. One is this kind of guilty feeling. Not that she did anything or caused anything, but sometimes a person, when they experience something like that, when they're left there and the other person isn't, they almost feel guilty, that they couldn't stop it in some way, or they feel guilty that they didn't go to. Why are they there? All kinds of things can come up like that. But another thing is this feeling like now it's almost like all these eyes are pointing on her now. She's the only one who can handle everything. So it's almost like everything is falling on her now. She feels like she has to handle everything. She feels overwhelmed is the feeling. coming from this. And there's a card under here. She of the Cruach. This is a mother card, and I'm pulling that also. And because this feels like she had children. So the husband died. She has these children, and she's having to take care of everything on her own now. And this also feels like it was quite a while back, and so it would not have been as easy for um, a woman to do that in that society. It would have been much, much harder. It wouldn't be like now where a woman can just go out and get any job that she feels to get, or anything that she's good at, she can do. There would have been a lot of limits on what she would be able to do or how she could get money. And there's a feeling of having to now rely on someone else. There's a feeling like that. Like she still has to get money coming to her from some family member. I don't know if you can hear that in the camera. My dogs are barking. Okay, so I feel like I might ask, how can this be cleared? Maybe they'll have something else to say specifically about this, I don't know, or maybe it'll just go right into how can this be cleared. Okay, I'm going to pull another card with the one that I just pulled. Whoa. Cards are popping around everywhere like crazy. Okay. Cards are dropping everywhere, all over the floor. Okay. Try this one more time. All right. This one almost fell out. And should I pull this one? I'm getting another energy now that has to do with something else entirely. Well, not entirely, since this does have to do with the love thing too. But I'm almost getting this feeling like you've tried to find someone. I even almost feel this energy, like even online or something. You've tried to speak to people that you could connect with. And this specifically, I mean, like romantically. And it just feels like none of it really works. Even online, It's just you haven't really been able to find anyone that you could. I'm getting something weird, but it's almost they're basically saying classify as like yourself is how it's coming in. Um, but I get the feeling that that that's because they're saying it specifically classify as like yourself. They mean something by that specifically because I'm seeing you looking up at the stars again. So basically, you haven't found um, the right person. Also, because you haven't found someone from like your exact almost section of the universe. You're like the place where you came from, your origin, or somewhere where you have had a significant lifetime, and you are supposed to meet someone from there specifically, or even from that lifetime specifically. So there's a specific person that you're going to meet. I'll say going, but this has to be cleared first. This energy um, from this lifetime, and this was an Earth lifetime. This has to be cleared. Whew, gosh, I definitely feel an energy again coming from that thought form. See, that's why I was saying this is definitely an identity level thought form. So basically, mentally, it's like an entity, but I wouldn't, the council wouldn't really classify it as an entity yet because, like I said, it still needs energy from you in order to sustain itself. But mentally, mentally, it can think on its own now. It's not just some simple stuck programming anymore that just dwells on one specific thing. Um, So this is an identity level, but yeah, the reason I was first saying that is because that's the thing. It's aware of me. It's aware of the reading that I'm doing, of what I'm doing. And I keep getting these energetic reactions from it. That's the second time that that's happened. Um, and this time it happened when I was saying that this needs to be cleared. So there was a reaction there because when you clear that, that means that this thought form is going to dissipate. So it's not going to exist anymore, basically. The energy will still exist, but not in this way. It will be formless energy. So, or it will just transmute into something positive. So it will basically change its mind, stop dwelling on negative things, and end up transmuting into a more positive way of thinking and being, and stop causing negativity for you, basically. And it's just causing it by what it's emitting. It's just an energy that it emits, and it gets you to feel certain things, or it blocks you in certain ways. So it's just like any other energy block, and it just sends it to you. It just sends this energy to you, and that's the way that it causes things. It's just by what it's emitting. Okay, so basically, now I'm pulling the Piper here. So basically, stop. Um, basically stop trying to find anybody now, um, or just try to find anything on the outside of you, or try to find another person like you, even in a friend way. Just stop until this is cleared, is the energy coming in, basically. Okay, so this is Geo, the slow, and the fairy who was kissed by, whoa, the pixies. So basically, this is saying um, that this might take a little while. It might take a while to clear this and find someone. And I'm not necessarily saying like a long, long while or something. But they're basically saying, you're in this for the long haul. It's not just going to clear overnight. It's not going to be something that clears really quickly, because you've had it for a very long time. But when it clears, um, you will find your true love. Okay, so that's all that your guides have to say. So that is the remainder of the reading. Put my crystal back over here. So thank you very much, the only one, for allowing me to do this reading for you. And I truly hope that this blesses you in some way. Thank you. Namaste.